It's Friday, December 9th, 2022. Friday, December 9th, 2022. This is my video log about my 1994 Chevy Astro van, the project van. I'm trying to restore the van to the point where I can make it a daily driver again. Unfortunately, I used this for farm work to the point where it was no longer reliable. And over a year ago, a brake line ruptured and I had to rebuild the brakes all around, and it's just been an ongoing battle with this project van. But it's a beautiful day in southeast Florida. I'm south of Miami, north of Key Largo in Homestead, Florida. When people complain about the high cost of living in southeast Florida and the high cost of real estate, you can see why people flock here in the winter months. And in the summer months, the water sports are great for scuba diving and lobstering in the Florida Keys, and fishing offshore for mahi-mahi, which is what I love to do. My boat, I thought it was ready for the next sea trial, but now I've got a coolant leak. So I got to ferret that out. We'll talk about that on a different video log. And the rooster's up today. But yesterday, anyway, this is Dennis Sietsma. This is Dennis Sietsma Productions. And now that I got the intro out of the way for the day, you'll have to excuse some of the language in here and talking points, but I plan to edit this into a video production later when I have time and I get better editing skills. So I have to do this in every segment, every time I stop the camera. I don't have a good camera. This one's dying, and I'm going to replace it with a better camera that I can pause it without it stopping the recording completely like this one does. This one creates a different file every time you stop the camera. So anyway, that said, let's go to the inside of the van for a moment. Excuse the walking. But yesterday I got the lower intake manifold plenum installed, and I may have messed it up, but this is a video log. This is not a how-to. You see my mistakes and the mistakes other people might make. But what I did was I installed it, and I did use the black RTV on the front and the back according to the service manual, a 5mm bead, and ran it up both sides of the head, in front and back. But when I went to install it, I found the bolts I had bought from AutoZone would not start. No matter how hard I tried, these bolts don't work. These are M10-150. These are metric bolts, an M10 bolt. The thread is coarse, so it's 1.50. It would be 1.25 if it was fine. So kind of like SAE bolts are coarse or fine thread, which will be NC or NF, National Fine, or the metric equivalent. The bolt is either 1.50 or 1.25, and this is a 30mm bolt, which is correct for the intake. And I checked it on the gauge. My bolt, my sample bolt, which one you can see one of them there, the sample bolt in the gauge with the bolt I had bought, and they match. So why this bolt won't start, I have no idea. But I'm going to go out today to a couple of places in Homestead that I know that sell bolts, and there's a really good place up near the falls, Mitchell Industrial Supply near the falls, and push come to shove, I'll go up there, but it's quite a drive. And okay, I need to say I'm going to stop worrying about the bolt for the moment, because that's going to take too much time. Today I'm going to do some spider checks for leaks on the spider, and I talked in other videos about replacing these lines that can crack and cause a fire, these yellow lines. Every time you work on this, if it's any time at all, try to acquire these and replace these. It's a good practice. And I also want to replace the electrical connector. So either I stop what I'm doing and get those things and put it together, or I put it together. And at my age, I worry very much about taking things apart and not being able to put them back together or remember how to put them back together. So for that reason, I'm going to put this back together and get it running without those parts. Next time I work on the Spider, I'll change them then. But for now, I just want to get this back in service and running again. Now, these engine lifts, I'm not clear where they go. I should have taken some photographs. I think this one actually goes up front. And I may need a stud instead. I think it goes, and the lighting's terrible, but where's my hand? Okay, so I think it goes here. It's the lift or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember how I took this apart. And I'm looking at my videos, and I'm looking at the General Motors factory service manual I have, and their manual doesn't have a good illustration. They have illustrations, and I may need more of these studs, these 10mm studs. So I'll see what I can find at Fastenal in Florida City. I'll see what I can find at Barry's Carpet. A lot of people don't know Barry's Carpet has a full hardware store in there, and because he started out as a carpet guy, and then he expanded into power equipment. He does lawnmowers and everything, and he assumes the locals know, but I had some guy. Anyway, one of these bolts here shows you. Now the exhaust bolt goes in. I got the exhaust manifold loose, and the exhaust bolt goes into that hole that this bolt I bought won't go into. And I've gone on to social media groups and asked the people on the groups, hey, give me a GM part number so I can know what the hell I'm talking about. Nobody came back with the part number on the group. And the feedback I'm getting on social media on the groups for different things are not accurate. The feedback is general and not specific enough to help me. I need specificity. Anyway, I'm going to get the next segment. We're going to put together the fuel pressure to the Spider, and I'll hook up the electrical, and we'll check the Spider for leaks. When they do leak, they normally leak right here at the regulator. Right at the regulator. So that said, now in the future I hope to add some sophistication to my video, what I put on the internet, but I need to learn how to do some editing, and so I apologize for the crudeness of the video. I hope you are enjoying the video production, and if anybody can recommend a body shop to me, I need some help. I need a body shop that can deal with this corrosion at the upper windshield. I paid a body shop to fix it, and they didn't do it the way I asked them to, using all USC all metal. And since 2017, we've got additional corrosion here. And if anybody can suggest an auto club, a van club that I can join, because some of the clubs now are going in together and selling shares on a body shop or something like that, and they're getting their restoration work done by their own people, as opposed to a commercial body shop the general public would use to do this high-end auto body work that really requires artisans, people at the top of their craft, to restore this kind of corrosion. Is nasty, and it takes somebody that really knows their way around a plenishing tool and a brake and all of I took auto body repair at Robert Morgan years ago, so I could do it myself if I had a place to work, which is why I'm saying what van clubs or auto body in Florida, and I'm in Florida, USA. But again, thank you my subscribers, and thank you people that give me a thumbs up occasionally. And if you give me a thumbs up, I know you watched the whole video. This is Dennis Sietsma, Homestead, Florida, USA. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you.